what we love to see at the multi-class age championships.
Great battle here. He could get on the wall first.
As they come down to the touch, oh, it's dumping in it.
It's a dead heat. Wow.
That is some phenomenal swimming.
Good evening and welcome back to the Gold Coast for the final session of the Australian Age Multi-Class Championships, live on Nine's Wide World of Sports. After 3 days of outstanding racing, it all comes down to this final night. Medals are on the line, personal bests are there to be broken. For many, this is the moment they've been building towards. The future of para swimming has been full on display this week, and we're set for a thrilling finish as the country's best young athletes take to the pool one last time. I'm Emily Seabohm, and alongside me tonight is Jake Templeton. Let's get into the action, Jake. Perfect conditions out there for weather. There's barely any breeze out there. Beautiful sunset here on the pool. What are you looking forward to tonight?
Yeah, it's great to be alongside you here tonight, Em, and it's a perfect night. It's been the best 3 days of competition here for these young athletes, our 12 to 18-year-old multi-class athletes, and I'm really looking forward to a lot of our racing tonight in our medleys. And tonight we have just the individual medleys, so we've got, starting off with the girls 12 to 13 years MC 200 IM, and then the 14 to 15 years age category, and we'll finish off with our older girls, our 16 to 18s, and then we move through simply the same for the boys there, Em. So it was great to have Mel Tantrum, our National Paralympic head coach, alongside me this morning, and we were really chatting about some of our rising stars, and Eli Kerr, our 14 to 15 years category in the boys, our SM9 swimmer, was one that struck her eyes, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how he goes tonight. We also had the top 5 of our 12 to 13 years boys were all S14 swimmers, and this is an important event for them on the international stage, so we look forward to seeing them racing tonight. In our 14 to 15 years category as well, our top 3 scorers this morning were all in that 14 to 15 years category, and that's across all age categories. And as we look to what is multi-class swimming, para-swimming is open to all 3 impairment groups: visual, intellectual and physical. A system of letters and numbers is assigned to each athlete. The lower the number, the more severely the athlete is impaired by their disability. And at this meet, there are multiple classes within each race, but times will only be compared within the same class. So it's really exciting to see when we have athletes of the same classification, just like we will in our first event tonight, competing against each other, because we know that it's a genuine race, and national results are determined using the multi-class point score system. Places are awarded for the highest point scores in each individual event. And what are you looking forward to most tonight, Em?
To be honest, I'm really looking forward to Mia Hogan. We've seen her on fire this age championships, and she has really produced some really high point scores in the 700s, the 600s. So I'm really excited to see her tonight. She will be in that second final, the girls 14 to 15 years, 200 metres individual medley. As we move to the first event on the program, this is your girls 12 to 13 years multi-class 200 metres individual medley, starting off with that butterfly backstroke, breaststroke freestyle. We've seen a lot of these names a lot over this competition: Gibbs, Duffy, Wag-Layton, Compton, Lewis, Rudd. It really could be anyone throughout that field to get that high point score. Jake, what are you looking at in this one?
In this race, Em, it was really great to see Sophia Wag-Layton take the reins this morning. She was 17 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. She is one of our higher class athletes though, so that is to be considered. It was really great to see Adele York. She had a 7-second personal best this morning in the heat, so keep an eye out there for Adele York over in lane 2 as well. But it was Sienna Compton. She topped the points, swimming out of lane 5 this evening with 481 points. But trailing her by just 1 point, 480 this morning, was Paige Duffy, our SM14 swimmer. And it's important to note that these girls are just 12 to 13 years of age, and we do have a couple of 12-year-olds in this final at their first national competition, our national age championship. So while a lot of their schoolmates are on holidays, these girls are here representing their clubs at the national championship. So we look forward to our first event of the night, our National Championship of the girls 12 to 13 years, 200 medley.
A little bit nerve-wracking behind the blocks, but these young girls show no fear in these events. We've seen them on fire this competition as they head now the last final for this age group.
Take your marks.
We're off clean in our first race of the evening, the championship, national championship of our girls 12 to 13 years, 200 individual medley. We know that Sophia Ragg-Leighton was really fast this morning in the preliminaries. She was off to a flyer and she was 17 seconds faster than the rest of the field this morning. So let's look to see her swim out in front of the field down that first lap. Here she is now. And we do know as well that Sienna Compton topped the points this morning. Paige Duffy in second, just 1 point behind. So it is going to be a little bit of a swirly breeze down the 50-metre turn end of the pool. 33.72 there for Ragg-Leighton. It is Rudd in 34.30 as we turn to our backs. It's such a beautiful evening here on the Gold Coast. A nice sunset, and it is Sophia Ragg-Leighton swimming very well there with that nice still head. Nice bubbling toes there in the backstroke. And as she passes through that 75-metre mark, she's swimming really well. And keep an eye out here on lane 7. She had a really great start to the race there. Brioni Rudd from Ripple St Mary's, our 13-year-old, 3 minutes .8 this morning. Narrowly missing that 3-minute barrier, but it looks like she's giving it a red-hot crack tonight. As we approach that 100-metre turn, Sophia Ragg-Leighton is looking really strong with that back flick turn, and 1 minute 15.76. Closely following her there is Brioni Rudd. And the rest of the field are quite tight there for that third place. Sienna Compton in 1 minute 20.41. Lewis, our SM19 swimmer, in 1 minute 22.46 through that first 100M.
Ragg-Leighton's 100-metre time didn't come up then. She mustn't have hit the wall hard enough for that touchpad to recognise that, but she did lead them through in that first 100 metres, looking very strong out there in that orange cap, out in front. And look at that lead that she has. She's certainly dominating this event right now. Now, her time from this morning was that 2:39.77, so she'll be hoping to beat that this evening as she takes that last turn, turning through in that 2:00.86. Rudd holding on for that second position. But you can see York out there, Duffy making that move. And same with Compton in 5 as they turn through neck and neck with each other there, battling it out for that place onto the wall. But we'll be looking at those point scores. Ragg-Leighton doing a great job. The S19 athlete out in front, 15 metres to go. It's her race, it's her against the clock. And we'll have a look at that point score as she comes down to the wall. She's looking very strong under the flags, and she comes in for that touch with a 2:37.19. A great swim for her, faster than that morning time. So a great result for her as we wait for those point scores to come through. You can see Rudd coming in for that second touch, that 2:48.96. Compton coming in for the touch with a 2:52.96 and a 509 point score in front of Duffy there with a 503. So that 500 mark leading the way so far as we wait for those final couple of swimmers to come through to the wall. And Ragg-Leighton's point score to come through. First on the wall, but it's all about those point scores. That 509 sitting at the top marker so far from lane number 5. Compton, that 2:52.96, the leading time so far with that point score. That 503 from Duffy holding on to that second position as we just wait for those results to become official. Gibbs out there in 0, sorry Jake, with that 424. So we're just waiting on that 1 point score to come through.
Yeah, I was going to say, it seems to be a bit of an issue there with the timing. It doesn't look like a disqualification. There does look to be one from Lewis, though, in lane 6, perhaps. But Ragg-Leighton's point score has come through, 438. So she's overtaken Mackenzie Gibbs. She was just behind her in terms of the points this morning. So a great swim from Ragg-Leighton, doing it all out on her own there. Mackenzie Gibbs with another great swim, 3:12. So she was faster than this morning, but not quite there on the bronze medal on the podium with her 4th place. And there was a disqualification, of course. Our athletes do have the opportunity. We're not quite sure what that would have been for. There's a range of things that can go wrong in a race like a medley where we're doing all 4 strokes. There's 3 different types of turns, the start, the finish. But as you mentioned, Em, this is your girl, Mia Hogan, in the 14 to 15 years final. You were really impressed with her this morning.
Absolutely. I've been impressed with her, to be honest, the entire multi-class age championship. She has really shown dominance in a lot of different events. Good to note that Compton will take home that gold medal in that 509. The silver going to Duffy in that 503. Raglayton with the bronze in that 438. As we look now, this is your girls 14 to 15 years multi-class 200 meters individual medley. The fly, the back, the breast, the free, putting them all together. And there's someone that really enjoys being out there every single time. Gemma Selick was just on your screen in that pink cap. Schneider there. Hogan, there's Hogan on your screen right there. Lane number 4. Fastest time, but also produces very high point scores. Lillian Gould there in 3. Maloney in 2. Pascoe in 1. And Hancock in 0. Now you can see, Jake, the different classifications there.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Explain to us, who would you have your eye on?
100%, Em, yeah. And this age group, in fact, was most impressive with their point scores this morning. So these 3 girls, Hogan, Selick and Maloney, not only were they the fastest 3 on points in this age group, but as all age groups this morning. So keep an eye on these 3.
Very impressive.
Take
As they're on the blocks now. The girls are away. This is your 14 to 15 years multi-class 200 individual medley. Coming out of the block strong is Hogan, but right next to her, Steiner in 5, holding on ever so slightly of that lead. Selick next to her in that pink cap, really flying through that first leg of this 200 IM. Hogan taking over the lead as she heads into that first 50-meter turn, and then we switch to the backstroke. She turns through in that 33.04. Steiner there in that 33.40. And Gould in that third touch, 35.38. As we move into that backstroke leg, we know Selick is very strong in that backstroke and breaststroke. But Hogan there really moving away from the rest of the field. She's stuck on that lane rope ever so slightly. And she's doing a great job of holding on to her stroke. Nice kick with her legs, but beautiful stroke with her head position and her arms. She's really up that stroke rate as she comes down to that 100-meter turn. This is where we move into the breaststroke portion of this race, and it can change on that lead. Hogan there on the wall in that 1:14.94. Smooth into that transition of the breaststroke. Steiner holding on for that second position, and Selick has moved into that third position in front of Gould. And this is where we'll see Selick make her move. She is known in that breaststroke, and she's very strong. But look at Hogan out there pulling away ever so slightly more in front of the rest of the field in that black cap, middle of the pool. She's really pushing it out now in this breaststroke. She'll move into the freestyle, and it's whatever you've got in the tank left. And she certainly puts on a show when she comes out here, doesn't she, Jake?
Absolutely, and one of the challenges of our vision-impaired athletes could be the back-to-breast turn, being on the back and the struggle of the flags, but there was no challenge there from Hogan. She turns into the freestyle, and this is where she can really gap her competitors, as she's doing right now. So 2:01.71, she topped the point score this morning, and she looks to do no different tonight. It was second this morning for Selick. Maloney was third, but keep an eye out on the battle between Giroux and Maloney. They're both SM10 competitors, and they've turned just 0.3 of a second apart at that 150-meter mark. But it is going to be Hogan, 15 meters to go. There will be a burn in the legs and the arms as she approaches that finish, and we'll see if she can beat her time from this morning. 2:47.83. She's going to smash that, Em, and it's going to be coming down to touch 683 points. 2:40.62 there for Mia Hogan. A great swim. We know that Steiner has had a great meet as well. 2:47.18. Lillian Gould, 538 points. And what a battle. Maloney and Giroux really close there in terms of their points and times, the SM10 swimmers. But even closer of a battle was Gemma Selick and Maloney there. Just 1 point separating the girls. 2:54.03 for Maloney. And Selick 2 minutes 54.29 with 578 points. So it's going to be Hogan. We will wait for these results to become official, and of course we'll wait for our outside swimmers. We've got Sarah Hancock over there in lane 0 from Darwin too, who's had a great meet this week, and she's topped the point score in another couple of races as well. So we'll just wait for her to finish off, and she's had a fantastic swim here tonight. This morning she was 3 minutes 42.35 and was really competitive on that point score system with a nice clean 500 points, 3 minutes 40.53. And of course, Elodie Seabyer's had a great week as well. So she was 4 minutes and 4 seconds this morning. But if we recap those point scores thus far, as Seabyer approaches that final finish, it was 683 from Mia Hogan. She's on top of the point score so far, and that is our most important factor in our multi-class racing, and a great swim there from Elodie. 446 points, 4 minutes and 5 seconds, 0.98, but it is going to be Hogan, and a really close tussle for the silver and minor placings there. It was Selick in silver, and in bronze will be Maloney with 577 points. So those SM9 and SM10 girls there, Em, were really, really close, being similar classifications.
What a tight final that turned out to be. Hogan there taking that gold medal in that 683. Selick with the silver, 578, and Maloney with that 577. But it was very close in that 4th and 5th and 6th position. All those girls very close in that point score. So fantastic result for those ladies. As we have a look now at the next event on your program, it is your girls 16 to 18 years, multi-class 200-meter individual medley. Jake, tell me who you're looking at in this one.
There's a lot of SM19 swimmers, as we've had a lot of SM19 swimmers all week. I think it's going to be really hard to look past Riley Sayer from the New Zealand club. She was top of the points this morning in this particular event, 499 points, and Mia Hogan's just thrown down a high 600, so we'll see if she can try and top that point score of her younger competitor there. We do compare a little bit from age group to age group, and we've seen a lot of New Zealanders in action this morning across all of our racing. So I think Riley Sayer, our SM7 swimmer, as you'll note, SM7's a bit of a lower number than some of the other competitors in the field here, so we know that the world record typically is a little bit slower for our more impaired athletes, so we know to keep an eye on the clock and the point score when Riley Sayer is still swimming through to that wall. It doesn't mean the race is over, but I think as well as Riley Sayer, one to watch is Emily Pratt. She was great this morning. Herself and Rebecca Fraser, 2nd and 3rd on points.
Can you just give us a quick rundown of the point score? How is that point score worked out?
Absolutely. So it's relative, and there is a point score system relative to the world record for that particular classification. So we're compared like for like with the best in history in our classification. Our final girls event for this evening in our multi-class age national championship, the 16 to 18 years girls 200 medley, and we know that Grace Ferguson this morning was 2 minutes 45.88 from Bustleton over in the west. A great race this morning from Grace, and as well Riley Sayer, our visitor from across the ditch in New Zealand, 499 points. She was 3 minutes 32 this morning, and she did top the point score, so keep an eye out on Riley in lane 0. As we turn down to touch for that first 50 metres, it's going to be a clear lead there for Grace Ferguson, 33.19. Closely followed there by Ryder and Conhidi in the 35-second range. So we turn onto the back, a little bit of a breeze at the 50-metre turn. The girls have nailed that fly to back turn. And she's put a little bit of distance on, but it is lane 3 as well. Meg Conhidi keeping close with her from Geelong, as well as her teammate Evie Lee, both from Geelong, our 16 and 18-year-olds, so they're doing really well. And lane 5 and 6 putting on a bit of a battle here too. Grace Ryder and Rebecca Fraser. So we turn down to touch at that 100-metre turn. She's not too far from the flags. Here is Grace Ferguson. She was 2 minutes 45 this morning. We want to make sure we hit that wall well, and it's a great start to this race. 1 minute 16.4 for Ferguson there, our SM19 swimmer. She is flanked either side there by 2 other SM19 swimmers, so we know that this is a genuine race, and she's on her front now swimming breaststroke, and she's not looking to slow down there, Em.
No, doing a great job out in front. She's really pulling away from the rest of the field, but look at that battle for that second, third, fourth position. They're very close all together, those girls. Ryder, Fraser, Kanhiti there, but Ferguson out in front in that blue cap on the screen, doing a great job of this breaststroke as we head into that final leg. That freestyle is all about bringing in those legs and seeing what you have left in the tank. But Ferguson doing a strong effort in this breaststroke as she takes that turn now. She turns through in that 2:06.41. Your S19 athlete in front of Ryder there in that 2:09.69. And Kanhiti there in that 2:13.44. Now we know it's going to be a battle to the wall for the S19 athletes, but keep your eyes out for Fraser, the S15 athlete, and wait for the end to see those point scores come through. It could change everything. As we head down to the last 15 metres, it is Ferguson out in front doing a great job in this 200 IM. She's going to be the first onto the wall, and let's see that point score as she comes down. We'll check out that time. Her time this morning, that 2:45.8 this morning and 2:45 flat tonight. So a great effort for her. That 379 point score, so far the highest. Fraser coming in now, that 491 point score at 2:55.08. A great effort for her. Clean out there in lane number 1, 431 point score. So topping the point scores right now. Pratt there coming in lane number 7, a 477. Almost the leading marker so far, that 491. Still holding on from Fraser there in lane number 6. Look at Sayar, you said that, Jake. You said watch her point score. Out in lane number 0, 552 point score with a time of 3:25.35. A massive effort from the swimmer from New Zealand. As we just wait for the final swimmer to come in, we'll have a look at that time. We'll have a look at that point score and see if it changes anything. But Jake, you said that. You said to watch out for lane number 0. You said Sayah might come through with a high point score, and she did. A 552.
Great race. Really great race there from Riley over in lane 0, the far side of SM. And although she wouldn't have known it, we were getting nervous for her. Fraser and Pratt, 491 and 477. They both clocked higher point scores and faster times than this morning, so they made it really hard for Riley Sayah, our New Zealand competitor, and a great swim by Isabel Pritchard, our SM7 swimmer. Our competitor of Riley Sayah, both SM7 competitors there, and 17 years of age too. So there does look to be a disqualification, my apologies, for Pritchard as well there though. So we will wait for that to become official and these results as well. But Sayah had a great swim, and just watching that splash and that white water from her on the way home, it looked like she was putting the head down and attacking the wall. We did say though that 14 to 15 years age group was dominant. So those girls in that middle age group really put it to the older girls, and it was great for them to finish off their night of racing in terms of the multi-class national championships here on the Gold Coast. And we look to the boys now. We do have a withdrawal from Rush in our first final, our 12 to 13 years boys multi-class 200 individual medley final. And that happens from sometimes. We have Ted Petherbridge, he's going to be replacing him, and that's why our alternate swimmers, our reserves you could say, still need to come to the pool and warm up. Have you ever been one of those before, Em?
I've been one of those swimmers that have forgot my race suit many times, also forgot my accreditation many times. So I think for me, it's always nerve-wracking when you forget that thing, and you could be that swimmer that doesn't make the final spot. But luckily enough, I'm okay with racing in my training suit. I've done that many times. It's actually Smith that we miss out of this final, out of lane number
Smith,
1.
Not Rush.
But Petherbridge is right there to take the place. He will swim in lane number 1 as we have a look at this final now. We've seen a lot of these names multiple times over these championships, Jake. And what does it mean for the last swim of the meet for these guys?
Yeah, they'll be tired, Em. They certainly will be, but we've seen, especially these younger boys, these 12 to 13 years old, they've shown no mercy, really. They've been fighting, and lots of resilience from such a young age across these 3 days of racing. So they will be tired, but I think they'll have a bit of a point to prove on this final night of racing. And Christian Wilson was a prime example this morning, a 7-second PB in the preliminaries.
Amazing. I hope that he can drop again tonight. Sometimes under the lights, it gives you a bit more adrenaline, maybe.
Take your marks.
And the boys are off. This is your 12 to 13 years multi-class 200 meters individual medley. The final competition for this age group here at the championships. Doing a great job. Nichols out in lane number 4, right next to him, Thompson. Hussein Hassadi right next to him in 5, holding on strong. But doing a great job of that first leg is Nichols out in front in lane number 4, your S14 athlete taking that first turn in that 32.12. Hussein Hassadi taking that second touch on the wall, 34.41 as they head into that backstroke leg. Looking great out there is also Austin out in lane number 7. He was third onto that wall. As we move into that backstroke leg, it's about finding your rhythm, finding that stroke, and giving yourself almost a little chance to catch your breath as you head into that breaststroke and that freestyle. And you can see Nichols doing a great job, but Hussein Hassadi right next to him in lane number 5, making his move on that leader. Thompson out of lane 3 has moved into the feet of the leader Nichols as they take that turn. 1:14.41, 1:14.76, and 1:16.38. Thompson really pulled away in that backstroke leg, away from the rest of the boys, but still holding on is Nichols. Hussein Hassadi right next to him, trying to claw back to him in this breaststroke, but look at Thompson too, flying through in lane number 3. Nichols really pulling away from these boys in this breaststroke leg. And look at that, Thompson's moved into that second position right now. He has passed Hussein Hassadi, who is now sitting in that third position as they head down to that last turn. And freestyle is whatever you got left in the tank. Nichols still leading through 2:02.11 as he takes that turn, and Thompson 2:05.34, and Hussein Hassadi right there next to him in that 2:08.73. And look at that, McKay has come out of nowhere in lane number 6 and really put on the burners, but look at Nichols, Jake. He is flying through that finish.
Yeah, our top 5 swimmers in the heats were all S14 swimmers, so let's keep an eye out on this race, Em. It's going to be Nichols. He's going to touch the wall first, and what a dominant swim from start to finish from Caleb Nichols. He's going to touch the wall first, and lots of S14s in this race, so we can assume that he's going to have a high point score. 510 from Nichols, 2:36.97. A great swim there from Caleb Nichols. Hussein Hassadi had a great performance too, but it is McKay and Wilson as well. Just like this morning, these two boys had great performances. 2:48.17 from McKay there, and 2:49.33 from Wilson. So just like this morning, it was a race between our S14 swimmers to top the points there, and it was Nichols who was dominant from start to finish. 2:36.97. His fly and freestyle legs in particular were really exceptional there. So we'll wait for Rush and Smith to finish off their racing. And of course, we'll keep an eye on the point scores. Nothing's over until these boys finish. And it's a nice swim there from Rush, and Smith, our SM8 swimmer, closing in on that wall. So Caleb Nichols, our SM14 swimmer, 2:36.97. Well and truly faster than this morning. He was 2:44 this morning, so saving a bit of energy. And a great swim there from Smith, 3:39.68, narrowly off his swim from this morning. So we will wait for these times to become official, but it's going to be Nichols, it looks, and McKay and Wilson taking the minor placings with our silver and bronze, rounding out our multi-class age championship worth of racing for these boys. And we do know that we not only have the 14 to 15 race, as well as our 16 to 18-year-old boys national final coming up. But later on tonight, Em, we do have a small break before our open racing, our first night of racing that kicks off with both our multi-class open swimmers and national open able-bodied swimmers as well. We saw some Olympic and Paralympic champions in the water this morning, but we do move now to our 14 to 15 years multi-class 200 metres individual medley national championship. This morning it was Cyrus Fosberg, second on points. He's going to be taking the charge from the middle lane, lane 4, but I chatted this morning, as you may have heard, with National Paralympic head coach Mel Tantrum, and she was really impressed with our SM9, Eli Kerr. He was 70 points nearly ahead of our second competitor, who was Fosberg, in terms of the points this morning. So just 14 years of age and swimming against the 15-year-old boys here too.
In the girls' competition, we saw that the girls of 14 to 15 years was able to produce higher point scores than the girls in the 16 to 18-year age group. Do you think we will get the same thing from these boys, the boys 14 to 15 against the boys 16 to 18?
Looking at the swimmers coming up next, Em, I don't think so. It's a good point, but we do have some of the likes of Callum Simpson. He was swum really well this morning. He was in the 600 points, as well as Hamish Keenan. And Bo Matthews had 726 points, and he was just off his PB this morning. So it's a great point, but I think we might keep getting better as the night goes on.
That's what we like to see as the boys get on the blocks right now.
Take your marks.
Our second last final of racing tonight on the final evening of our Australian multi-class age national championships. And this morning it was Eli Kerr, Cyrus Fosberg, and then Ming Zi Pang, our top three in terms of the points. And it was really tight racing. 2 minutes 38 this morning from Fosberg, 2 minutes 39 from Eli Kerr. So 570 points was the mark this morning in the preliminaries, and Ming Zi Pang, just like last night in his butterfly racing, he's taking it out really strong. So 31.2, 32.6 in second is Cyrus Fosberg, and Luke McDonough, our SM14 swimmer, 32.88. These are the three boys leading the way as they turn onto their backs. What we're looking for here is a nice even stroke rate, nice buoyancy of their legs, and keeping a nice even stroke, saving as much energy as we can. And as the boys do so, there's four of them leading the way, and you could almost throw a blanket across them as they approach that 15-metre rope. They're about to swim under it. And I think it's going to be lane 6. Luke McDonough at this stage, our SM14 swimmer, looks to be leading the charge. Going into this breaststroke leg, we know that he's a local. Just down the road from Broadbeach. He's part of the Surf Lifesaving Club, and 1 minute 11.54 there from McDonough. So Pang, his fellow SM14 competitor, just a couple of seconds behind him. We know we like to keep an eye on the races within a race, but it's going to be Kerr and Fosberg slightly trailing him. And Fosberg, just like this morning, his breaststroke leg looks to be dominant here, Em. He's making a move in that breaststroke. We know it's a really important stroke in the individual medley. He's moving through quite nicely, and if he can get his hands on that wall at the 150-metre turn, there's a chance here for him to put a bit more space on his competitors, Kerr, McDonough and Pang.
Wow, we've had 3 changes in leaders. So we started with Pang and McDonough, and now Fosberg is taking over that lead and is really extending in this freestyle leg. Turns through in that 1:56.15 in front of Kerr there, that 2:01.47. And McDonough taking that third turn, 2:02.16. As we come down to 25 metres to go, Fosberg comfortably out in front, but it will be up to that point score. So he's got to get as close as he can to the fastest time he can do tonight. And looking strong is Kerr coming through now in lane number 5, but Fosberg will take the touch in that 2:32.83, a 505 point score, 555 point score, but look at that, a 611 point score from Kerr, the S9 athlete, in that 2:35.63. It's the highest point score so far. As we wait to see the rest of the field come through, we'll see those point scores come up and see if he can hold on to that lead. But what a swim that was. Fosberg did a great job of moving through in that breaststroke and then into that freestyle, and Kerr really came back strong in that last 50, didn't he, Jake? He really put on the burners.
Absolutely. And there's a reason that our coaches are experts. Mel Tantrum this morning, particularly impressed with Eli Kerr, as well as many of our age group swimmers. So that was a great performance from Kerr tonight. 611 points is always going to be hard to beat in our multi-class age nationals. And Jonty Howland's been exceptional this week as well. So under the flags now, final couple of strokes, and it's going to be Howland, 402 points, 3 minutes 32.41. Very close to his swim from this morning. The youngest swimmer, or one of the youngest swimmers in our 14 to 15 years age category here. So It's a great opportunity for these boys, not only to compete for their clubs on the national scale under these bright lights on TV, but it's really important for them to focus on their own individual performances, particularly at this age, where they're all developing at different rates. They've had different backgrounds, of course, different classifications here too.
Great job for those boys. Kerr will take home the gold medal in that 611. Rosberg with the silver, 555. McDonough with the bronze, 514. What a way to finish the program for the boys of 14 to 15 years. As we have a look now, this is the last event of the night for our amazing MCH athletes. They've been on fire. As we have a look now, it's your boys 16 to 18 years multi-class, 200 meters individual medley. And look at those names in there, Jake. Simpson, Matthews, Rinaldi, Gibson. It is really a stacked field. And like you said, we probably won't see what we did with the girls where they won't score as high. We know these boys score very high.
Yeah, a couple of the boys throughout the meet are already Paralympians and Australian Dolphins. So Declan Bard, Callum Simpson, these boys have already represented Australia on the open international scene. So that's why I said before, I think this age group in particular with the boys might be dominant. And this morning it was Matthews, SM10. He's just 16 years of age as well, so he's going to be one of the younger in the field tonight. It was himself and Toby Rinaldi. So our SM15 swimmer, he wasn't in the top 3 this morning in terms of points, but Matthews and Rinaldi made great use of each other and pushed each other from start to finish. And Rinaldi almost overtook him in the free this morning. So it was a really great swim from both of these boys. But we do know that Hamish Keenan, we also know that Callum Simpson, these boys have been exceptional throughout the meet. And Callum's going to be racing later as well in the 400-metre freestyle in the open multi-class national championships. But keep an eye on those middle lanes as well as Simpson.
I don't know if you clocked that. Toby Rinaldi had Fear the Creek written across his chest. I'm guessing Albany Creek for his club.
I love that.
But very cool to see.
Take your marks.
And the boys are off. This is your 16 to 18 years multi-class 200 meters individual medley. Last final here at the MCH Championships. And what a night it has been. Some really high point scores in there, as we know these boys will produce some really high ones again. Matthews out in front, very strong in that butterfly leg. Rinaldi right next to him in lane number 5, pushing him through that first 50 butterfly. They turned through that 28.25, 29.04 for Rinaldi. And that third is Toga there in that 31.37. And looking so strong is Matthews. He has had a fantastic meet, the S10 athlete, really pushing himself in this backstroke leg. But you can see Rinaldi isn't letting him get too far away. The S15 athlete just holding on to his feet there. As they come down under those flags, they will turn into that breaststroke leg. And sometimes that's where we see the change in the individual medley as they take that turn now. 104.17, 104.86. And 108.03 from Toga out in lane number 7, holding on to that third place right now. You can see they've moved into that breaststroke leg. Matthews holding on strong. Rinaldi trying to not let him get too far ahead of him as they really push through in this breaststroke. And we know in that last 50, it's all that's left in that tank. And how much does Matthews have? How much does Rinaldi have to hold on for that last 50, Jake?
It was a great race this morning, Em, and Matthews had to go past Rinaldi on the freestyle leg, but it's going to have to be the opposite tonight, and they are both different in terms of their classifications, but sometimes we just like to see a race, and it is Matthews in lane 4. It's going to be hard to beat him. He's a speed demon in the freestyle leg, and look at that whitewash. He's hitting that final 25 metres, and he's making it really tough for Rinaldi to catch him. So it is going to be Matthews. He's going to hit the wall first. Rinaldi in second. But we do need to keep an eye on the point scores. Keenan was second on points, and of course Cal Simpson, the sunny coaster, in lane 1. He's swimming really well as well, but down to touch, it's going to be Matthews. 2 minutes 14.8, 809 points is exceptional for an SM10 swimmer. 2 minutes 14.8 Rinaldi. 2 minutes 16.92, so some really tough point scores there from the boys. Keenan, 706 points in 2 minutes 28.31. And Callum Simpson made to work, but he's delivered 2 minutes 31.8. So 785 points, narrowly behind Matthews there on the point score system. But both of those boys have produced, and what a final night of racing and final event from our age group boys here in the 16 to 18 years 200 medley national championship. It's going to be Matthews, 809 points there, 2 minutes 14.8. Closely followed by Simpson, 2 minutes 31.80. And also closely followed there, Toby Rinaldi. He really put the jets on trying to catch Matthews, 2 minutes 16.92. So it's going to be gold, silver and bronze, and they all pushed each other there. Keenan, a great swim this morning, and Toa, both SM9 swimmers, and Gibson as well. It's great to see this competition on the national level as these boys not only eye off next year potential at the age champs, but the next step, of course, Em, is looking to that Open Championships.
And Matthews was very happy with that, and so he should be. 809 points, takes home the gold. Simpson with the silver, 785, and Rinaldi with the bronze. That brings us to an end of the 2026 Australian Age Multi-Class Championships here on the Gold Coast. It's been an incredible few days of racing with so many impressive performances and a bright future ahead for para swimming in Australia. I'm Emily Seaborn, and I've been joined by Jake Templeton. We won't be going too far though. Stay with us because we'll be back in just 20 minutes for the Australian Open live on Nine's Wide World of Sport.
This has been another presentation from Nine's Wide World of Sports.